Mr. Griffin, you recently became engaged to the defendant. Now, you say you desperately hope you are the child's biological father and confess you'll be heartbroken if today's results prove otherwise.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Brown, you admit you're unsure who fathered little Autumn. You confess you slept with 2 different men during the window of conception. Thus, you say there's a real chance Autumn may not be Mr. Griffin's biological daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Griffin, what kind of father has Mr. Griffin been to Autumn thus far?
Well, Your Honor, he's been a great father. There was a time where Autumn was about 3 to 4 weeks old, and she stopped breathing on me. I had to call the ambulance, and I knew that they would take so long to come, so I actually got in my car and I drove myself. On the way there, I called my ex, and I asked him, to meet me at the hospital because my daughter wasn't breathing, and he said, no, I'm not coming, she's not my daughter. So I called him, and he said, I'm on my way. Not knowing at the time he didn't have a way to get there, he walked 25 miles, excuse me. I'm sorry, Your Honor. He walked 25 miles to the hospital to be there with me and my daughter, and he was there for the whole 4 days while we were at the hospital. He didn't leave my side or Autumn's side.
He walked 25 miles?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's amazing. Mr. Griffin?
Yes, Your Honor.
And after walking those 25 miles, you established a bond with this child?
Yes, ma'am.
Without really knowing whether or not she was your biological child?
Yes, Your Honor.
So tell me about this bond. You love her? You regard her as your daughter? Tell me.
Yes, she came in my life as I was losing a baby, and I got a blessing with her coming in my life, so that was a gift from God. And that's my daughter regardless. And, I watched her grow, talk, take her first steps. Man, it's just so good to just see her. That's my baby, my queen.
Oh. Well said, well said. And so you've seen this bond grow, Ms. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how does it make you feel as a mother?
It does everything for me, Your Honor. My father wasn't there, and it means so much to me, that he stepped up in every sense of the word of being a father to be there for my daughter. He's been there from day one, Your Honor. Every doctor's appointment, when Autumn falls and skin her knee, he's there. Bedtime stories, he's there. Nightmares, he's there. So he's, been a great father to her. And it means a lot to me and her, because that's all she knows as a father, him.
And unfortunately, I have to talk about this issue because it sounds like such a beautiful relationship, and yet there's doubt. So, Mr. Griffin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Please explain that doubt.
Well, how I came upon having the doubt, I caught her on the phone. I seen the text message in the phone. And then she was on the phone with this guy. I thought they was done. And then I just grabbed my stuff and I left, kicked the door and left.
So you think everything's normal. You see a text message, read the text message from this guy,
yes, Your Honor.
So you just leave.
Yes.
What's on this message, Ms. Brown?
Basically, it was on the messages he, was asking about Autumn and, how she was doing. And he was just saying that he still had doubt that he was her father, so he really didn't want to get involved. And I hadn't said anything to Mr. Griffin about he possibly could be the father because maybe in December 29th, I know because it was a couple days after Christmas, I had unprotected sex with my ex. So maybe 2 weeks later, around January the 7th, me and Mr. Griffin had sex, but it was protected, but the condom, popped. So at the time, I really didn't think that Mr. Griffin, was her father. It was always in the back of my mind, Your Honor, but I, just thought that the ex was because we had unprotected sex. So I really didn't say anything to him until recently. And I said something because everybody kept saying that she looks like Mr. Griffin, but they also said that she looks like my ex.
So, Mr. Griffin, do you think Autumn looks like you?
Yes, I do, Your Honor. She got the same pinky toe like me, like in my family, and she looked just like our other daughter. So that's my baby girl, that's my queen, that's my daughter.
So you have another child with Miss Brown?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you think the two children, they really do look alike to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
But Ms. Brown, you say family members of yours say she looks like your ex.
Yes.
What do you see?
I see both. I see resemblance in both.
So these are the photos you submitted to the court.
Yes.
They're adorable. Mr. Griffin, you think the two girls look alike?
Yeah, they look like twins. Man, that's my babies right there. That's daddy baby girls. I do anything for them. I lay down my life for them.
But you both understand how important it is for her to know who her biological father is.
Yes, Your Honor.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Ms. Brown, now has your ex, has he stepped up at all, done anything for Autumn?
Not one thing, Your Honor.
So today's results really are crucial in the sense that if he's in fact her biological father, there's a question as to whether he's going to even participate in raising her.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, Jerome, I think it's time for the results.
Okay.
Thank you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows.
Yes, Your Honor.
In the case of Griffin versus Brown pertaining to whether Mr. Griffin is the biological father of 2-year-old Autumn Benefield, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Griffin is not the father.
Well, Your Honor, I'm gonna be there regardless. I'm her father. I teach her everything. That's my daughter.
Ms. Brown,
Yes, Your Honor.
I know this is not the news you wanted.
No, Your Honor.
And I have to ask you, are you certain that the other gentleman you spoke of is her biological father, or could there be someone else?
No one else, Your Honor.
I want you to understand that although you did not get the result you were both hoping for, the fact that you walked in here willing to find out the truth, not just for your sake, but for Autumn's sake, I commend you for that. That's very important.
Thank
you
you.
have to continue to put her first.
Yes, Your Honor.
And this may not be a person you believe will want to be involved in her life. However, you have to give them that opportunity.
Yes,
And
Your
more
Honor.
importantly, you have to give her the opportunity to get to know her father.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court is adjourned.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Hoffman versus Wolfe.
Thank you, Jerome. Good day, everyone.
Good morning.
Mr. Hoffman, you are desperate to solve a 30-year mystery and finally find out if Mr. Wolfe is your long-lost son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, you claim to have had a sexual relationship with his now-deceased mother, but lost contact with her when Mr. Wolfe was very, very young.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Wolfe, you say you have no memories of Mr. Hoffman. I mean, you spent your entire life from childhood to boyhood to manhood thinking another man was your father. Only months ago, you received a message on social media stating that Mr. Hoffman believes he is your dad. So, Mr. Hoffman, explain to the court what happened 30 years ago.
Well, my older late sister had introduced me to Mr. Wolfe's mother, but at the time I was a over-the-road truck driver, so I was gone a lot. So I never knew that she had gotten pregnant. My older sister had informed me that Mr. Wolfe's mother had had a baby and claimed that I was the father.
So you find this out from your older sister.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what was your thought?
I wasn't quite sure because being on the road all the time, I didn't know if she was having relationships with someone else.
So, Mr. Wolfe, did you ever hear of this man's name growing up?
No, Your Honor. There's always been a question mark there. I mean, the lifestyle I lived, it left me almost without any emotion of not having a dad around.
You just became guarded.
Yes.
And yet, there was a man all along that was looking for you.
Last time I seen him, he had just turned 5 years old. And me and my wife lived in Nevada, and we went to California to visit my older sister for Christmas. We arrived at her house, and Mr. Wolfe and his younger brother were at my sister's, and his mother had left them there for 3 weeks and never contacted my sister. And we
Really?
contacted all the legal people, child services and that, because most of the time that me and his mother were together, majority of the time I was his father. So after we contacted all these people, we explained to them, they said that I had the legal right to remove him from the state because it was a case of abandonment. So me and my wife took him back to Nevada with us.
And how long did he stay there?
We had him for about 2 months.
Was that a special time in your life?
Yes, Your Honor, very special. After we brought him back to Nevada, because he was very proud of his bed. I built him a bed, his
You
own day
did?
bed, and he was very proud of that. He bragged to all the people who worked with my wife at the restaurant that my daddy built me my own bed. He had his own bedroom, and
So this sounds amazing. Like, it sounds like you were having the time of your life, and so was he. What happened? How did you lose him?
we got a call a couple months later from my older sister that the San Bernardino Sheriff's Department came to her home. They threatened me with a warrant for interstate flight and kidnapping of a minor.
Really?
I told him that no matter how long it takes, I'm gonna find him. And I hope that it proves positive, because there's a place missing in my life. I love kids, but my wife could never have them. Because I have no kids. The only thing that felt that empty gap was after we lost him, went back to California, we lost contact. His mom picked him up, and I never seen him again until today.
Did you ever think of pursuing a blood test or anything?
We tried to get a blood test. We're going to hire an attorney out of San Bernardino to locate him, and he wanted $5,000, and I don't have that kind of money. Never had that kind of money. We spent almost 30 years looking for him. My sister finally located him on Facebook.
I actually had brought a copy of it.
Jerome, may
here
I see
today.
that, please? Thank you. Message, hi James, my name is Helen. I believe I'm your aunt. Your father has been looking for you for 25 years. You look just like our family. I don't know how much you know about your father or whom you believe to be your father. What a message to receive. And what were your thoughts when you read this?
It felt good.
And if he is your father, what are your hopes?
Like I said, Your Honor, I've never really grown up with a father in my life. So it's important to me that I don't let him down for as of today and whatever future we may have left. I just don't want to let him down. I try to make it an effort.
So, Mr. Hoffman, how does it make you feel?
It would make me proud if he was my son. And if it proves that he is my son, I would like him, because we've talked over the phone before, that if it proves positive that he is my son, I would want him legally to change his name, because he would I am harassed Hoffman.
Mr. Wolfe, if in fact the results dictate that he is in fact your biological father, would you be amenable to changing your name to Hoffman?
Absolutely, Your Honor.
I think it's time for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Hoffman v. Wolfe, pertaining to whether Mr. Clayton Hoffman is the biological father of James Wolfe, it has been determined by this court that Mr. Hoffman, you are his father. So, Miss Smith, you, all of this time, knew Malachi existed.
Yes.
Knew who he was.
Yes.
Your nieces talk about him.
Yes.
But never knew
Never knew.
he could potentially be your nephew.
Never knew. Never.
So when did Miss Laster make you aware, and how did she go about telling you? Just saying that, you know, this could be your nephew, it really could?
Yes.
And then when you asked her, why would you tell me what's going on? What was the explanation?
She just said she had a lot going on and she didn't want to really get into it.
And so at that point, did you just accept?
I accept him because, I mean, if this could be my brother's baby, I don't want to push him away. That's just the type of person that I am. I mean, if this is my brother's child, I want to get to know him. I want to take him in. I want to love on him.
And so did you take him in? Did
Yes.
you start loving on him?
Yes.
So you formed a
He comes
bond with
over.
Malachi?
Yes, he comes over now.
Miss Smith, Grandma, you haven't built a bond with Malachi, or you have?
I didn't even know who Malachi was. Yesterday was the first time I even touched that child.
So yesterday was the first time you ever seen him in person?
Not until yesterday.
In 4 years?
In 4 years. I never knew nothing about him.
Oh, that's precious. So, Miss Laster, I don't get it. I don't get it. You have the 2 other children.
Yes.
They love them, they accept them, they spend time with them. What's a third?
Yeah, you're right, Your Honor. But it was, like I said, it was just something really emotional for me. And I just didn't want to face it. So I just, left it undone.
What was so emotional?
Losing him broke me really, really bad. That was the first time I ever been with somebody that actually cared about me. That was the first time, I met them and they loved me. I've lived with Miss Dolores too. But that was the first time that I actually, met a man that cared for me and had my best interest at heart. It was too much for me. So I left it alone and left it unnoticed. And it was too late. We didn't have, Florida, you can only do but so much. It's not, many things that you can go through to try to get DNA done for somebody that's deceased. So it was even a hard time.
But see, that's what breaks my heart so much because we know Monica. Because Monica is like family. Always been like family. Always.
Yeah.
I think we had a better connection. We had a bond.
You had a rapport where you felt like you could have just said, hey, there may be a possibility and I want you to know.
Yes. Yes.
All right. We don't call this paternity court for nothing. There's another layer to this. You were also with someone else during that time, am I correct?
Well, yes. But the reason I can say for sure that it is his, not only did Malachi started stuttering first. So it kind of threw me for a loop because none of my children had speech impediments. I called Tess and I was like, hey, is this normal? Have Travis had these issues in the past? And she was like, yeah, he used to stutter when he was a kid. So I was like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, most definitely, okay, that he's most definitely his. But at the time that I was dating somebody, well, we didn't date, we was just having sex.
Okay.
But at the time, I was just dealing with that person. I dealt with him in February. My conception was January. So around the beginning of the month of January, I started seeing Travis and sleeping with him. And I had Malachi in October. So by that time, I knew most definitely.
All right, so you submitted a calendar to the court to explain that. Let's
Yes.
take a look at that. In January, you claim you were intimate with Travis. January, we have sex with Travis. The other man, in February, you have sex with him. The 2nd through the 8th, that's when you had sex with the other man.
Yes.
So Malachi was born October 17th. If you calculate the window of conception based upon those dates, you come up with a window of conception of January 19th through the 25th, which is when you were having sex with Travis.
Yes.
That's why you came up with that assumption.
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to know you do realize that the window of conception that's outlined here on the calendar is just 2 weeks from the time when you had sex with the other man.
Yes.
That's a little too close for comfort in this courtroom. So why do you just eliminate him? Because that's just 2 weeks.
Okay, well, the other man, we had some things going on for us, court issues with our children, with our 2 children, and they had to be DNA tested. So I had Malachi DNA tested too, which came out to be 99.9% not his. So that's how I know for sure he's not the other guy's.
99.9% not his?
Yes.
I thought it'd be 0%.
I can say for certain I've never received a result that says that someone's 99.9% not the father.
I don't know, Your Honor. That's what my paper
Okay,
said.
I just want to show you something. When I get a DNA laboratory result, there is always the mother, the child, and the alleged father. When I get a result, we talk about the probability of paternity. That means how probable is it that he is the father. The probability of paternity of 0% means he's not the father. That would be a 0%.
When I first presented it was 0%, they told me that doesn't make sense. It should say 99.9% negative.
No, it should say 99.9% for the probability of paternity. This is crazy. Let me see if we can get Dr. Baird on the line, which is our chief scientist for the laboratory we deal with here at Paternity Court, DNA Diagnostics. Hi, Dr. Baird, can you hear me? It's Judge Lauren Lake.
Hi, Judge, I can hear you fine.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for taking time for me. I'm in a hearing right now, Dr. Baird, where our defendant is saying that she received paperwork that indicated that during a DNA testing process, it was determined that it was 99.9% probability that a man was not the father of a child. Are results ever achieved that way?
The typical way to express an exclusion of paternity is to say that the alleged father has a probability of paternity of 0%. So you're basically asked to report the probability of paternity when you do a test. It'll either be 99.9% or higher. I've never heard a result the way that you've read it before.
Ms. Smith, after hearing Dr. Baird and listening to the testimony today, what are your thoughts?
I don't know. I just want to get it over with and just find out if this is my nephew. We could have had a bond with him just as well as I have it with my nieces.
It is so perplexing. And it would lead one to think, Ms. Laster, that you weren't telling because you weren't sure, not because you were just busy. But then when you look at the conception windows in the calendar, we're only dealing with a 2-week span. And in this courtroom, that can go either way. I think it's time we get the results.
Yes.
So we can see what the truth really is. Ms. Laster, since we started with Ms. Hicks' case first, I will give her results first. You may be seated, and I will get to yours next. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased, Travis, we performed a DNA test with his surviving parent, Dolores Smith. With that being said, the results determine if there is a viable relationship between the child, Ja'Cory, and Dolores Smith. In the case of Smith versus Laster Hicks, when it comes to 3-year-old Ja'Cory, it has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Dolores Smith and Ja'Cory is 0.00%. You are not related.
Thank you. I apologize. I assumed it was his, but I do thank you for the closure. That's my main purpose.
Ms. Hicks, you were extremely emotional. And then when I read the result, you're not at all surprised. You just say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who your child's father is?
Yeah.
So my point is this then. Why would you put Miss Smith and her daughter through this drama, without just saying from the beginning, there may be another possibility, I don't know, but I also was sleeping with Travis. In this courtroom, we let it all play out. I knew when you disappeared, and then she found you at the Martin Luther King parade, just walking around.
Yeah.
I knew then. But I didn't say anything because I knew the DNA had the answers.
I just wanted certainty because, like I said, her intentions behind the DNA was ill-mannered. That was my whole
that
point
was knowing
of doing anything.
knowing if that was my brother's child.
The way that she
Miss Hicks.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let
cover
you
it.
tell another
Thank
lie.
All right.
Thank
What you wanted for your child was a family.
Thank you.
No,
No, you wanted a family.
Thank you.
Because the bottom line is the guy whose baby it could be is away.
Yeah.
He's not gonna be able to be a dad. And unfortunately, Travis is gone. But what Travis does have is a family.
Yeah.
Who loves the children in the family, takes care of them, and when you was out there by yourself, hanging on a strand of nothing, trying to figure out how you gonna raise this baby by yourself, you thought to yourself, you know what I'll do? I'll go pop up over there and say that the baby is Travis's. We already got your number, babe. But listen, let me tell you about this. Look, that's why it don't make no sense to lie. My grandmother always said, if it don't come out in the wash, it's coming out in the dry.
You better say it. Yes, ma'am.
And I'm saying this to you is because I want you to start policing yourself. Stop yourself from digging these holes. You're a beautiful young girl. It's gonna be a whole lot of men that wanna lay down with you, but you're gonna end up being the one with the baby. You're more than that. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now I want you to sit on over there and think about yourself. Miss Laster, it's your turn. Are you ready for this next result?
Yes.
All right. The results determine if there is a viable relationship between the child, Malachi Laster, and Dolores Smith. When it comes to 4-year-old Malachi Laster, it has been determined by this court the percentage of relatedness between Ms. Dolores Smith and Malachi Laster is 0.00%. You are not related.
Oh, wow.
I'm very sorry.
Both of them done put me through all of this, and my daughter. All of this. For what?
Do you need to sit down, Miss Smith? You may have a seat if you'd like. I know you're so upset. There are no small claims in this court. That's why we don't play no games. Miss Laster, you really do look shocked.
I am. I am.
Do you know who Malachi's father is? I'm gonna ask you the same thing I asked Miss Hicks.
Those were the only two people I remember sleeping with at a time.
Do you think there is some way you misread the previous test if you saw 99.9?
I did for sure see that number.
That would say that there would be a probability of paternity.
I don't know.
Before we go, I have to say, I don't know what it is, but y'all gotta stop having these babies all over the place.